The next day, as soon as dawn rose, Aladdin comfortably woke up to the sound of birds singing in the trees. He slept under the roots and dense trees around the castle. He immediately looked towards the magnificent castle, feeling indescribably happy because he was about to become the master again and once again have the princess by his side. While waiting, he thought about why the disaster happened and remembered that he had left the lamp at home while hunting. What confused him more was that he could N and #39 figure out who was jealous of his happiness. First of all, he realized that he and the castle in Africa reminded him of the African wizard, his inherent enemy. Princess Bouroulbadour has woken up earlier than usual since being kidnapped and taken to Africa. Until now, she was forced to meet the wizard once a day, but each time she treated him very harshly, so he did not dare to risk staying. After she finished dressing, a maid looked through the curtains, saw Aladdin, and ran to tell her master the news. The princess could N and #39 believe it, ran to the window and recognized her husband. She pulled hard on the door. Hearing the noise, Aladdin raised his head, saw the princess, and greeted her with great joy. The princess said, "To avoid wasting time, the maid will open the secret door for you and go up." The secret door below the princess and number 39's room was opened, and Aladdin went up to the princess and number 39's room. It is impossible to describe the joy of the couple seeing each other again when they thought they would be separated forever. They hugged and kissed each other many times, showing each other their love and affection after their sad and unexpected separation. Surname. After much excitement and tears of joy, they sat together and Aladdin spoke first. "Princess, before telling everything, I plead for your own benefit, that of your beloved father, and my own. Can you tell me how the old lamp I left on the edge of the wall before going hunting is now doing?" "Rob?" "My dear," the princess replied, "I suspected that our disaster came from the lamp and I am very sad that it was caused by me." "Princess, Dawn and number 39's admit it and number 39's your fault, it and number 39's all my fault, I should have kept it more carefully. We should just think of a way to repair that loss. To do that, could you please tell us how it happened and to whom did the light go?" Princess Bouroulbadour recounted exchanging the old lamp for a new one and the following night when she noticed the castle had been moved. "Waking up in the morning, I found myself in this strange country. I learned from the trader and number 39's mouth that I was in Africa and was brought there by magic." "Princess," Aladdin interrupted, "you have told me the traitor. He was the most cunning man in the world, but it was not the time to tell her more about his cruelty. Just please tell me what he did with the lamp and where he put it." "He wrapped the lamp very carefully and put it in his body. I witnessed him take it out and show it off to me as if it were a feat. My princess, Dawn and number 39's be angry because I ask for many things that make you tired. Those things are very important to her and to me. To get to the point I am particularly concerned about, could you please clarify how you see the treatment of such a wicked and treacherous person every day? Since I came here, he comes to see me once a day and probably ISN and #39's satisfied with his visits, so he doesn't and #39's bother me as often." All the stories he told me were aimed at losing my trust in you and marrying him, wanting to make me have no hope of seeing you again, that you had been beheaded by your father and died. He also explained that he was an ungrateful person, All his wealth came from him and 1,000 other things, but I just let him talk. Since I only responded with miserable cries and tears, he was forced to retreat as dissatisfied as when he first arrived. However, I am sure he intends to wait until the suffering is over, so he will change his feelings, and eventually, if I persist in opposing him, he will use force. Now, my dear, in your presence I am no longer afraid." "Princess," Aladdin interrupted her, "I believe your worries are not in vain. I think I have found a way to free you from your enemies. To do that, we have to go out to the street, come back here at noon, and discuss with her what our intentions are and what she must do to contribute to success. Please warn her not to be surprised if I wear different clothes, and remember to order someone to wait for me at the secret door, opening it the first time I knock." The princess promised that someone would wait at the door and open the door immediately. While Aladdin still followed that secret door out, he looked around and saw a farmer walking down the village road. The farmer walked in the opposite direction of the castle, and when he was far away, he walked quickly to keep up. He suggested changing the clothes he was wearing and said it cleverly, so the farmer agreed. The change of clothes took place behind the bushes, and Aladdin parted ways and went into the city. Through the city gate, he went to the busy streets, went into a store, and asked to buy some kind of narcotic powder. The seller looked at the clothes and thought he was poor, saying he had that kind but it was very expensive. Aladdin knew what the shopkeeper was thinking, so he pulled out his money bag, revealed the gold, and told him to sell it for half a kilo. The seller wrapped the powder and gave it to him, asking for 1 gold coin. Aladdin took the packet of flour and paid for it, stopped in the city for a moment to eat and drink, and then returned to the castle. The secret door opened immediately without making him wait. He walked straight to Princess Bedrouthoudor and #39's room. He said to the princess, "You have shown your disgust for the usurper. Perhaps you are willing to follow my advice. Allow me to tell you that it is time to keep your thoughts hidden, even to use violence if you want to escape the torment of your enemies and make your father happy to see you again. If you listen to me, from now on you should wear your best clothes, and when the wizard comes to visit you should welcome you very kindly, naturally, with an open face, because if there is still some concern." He also realized that he would make everything disappear forever. During the conversation, she let him know that she would try to forget me and make him believe that she was sincere. She invited him to stay late for dinner with her, and said she wanted to drink the best wine in the country. He will definitely go get some wine. While waiting for him to return, when the meal was ready, she put this powder into a cup she often used to drink and kept it separate, warning the maid serving the wine to be careful not to confuse it. The old witch returned and sat at the dining table together. After eating and drinking for a while, she motioned to bring out the cup of powdered wine and exchange her cup with his. He will see that her affection is too great to refuse. He will drink the entire glass of wine and immediately collapse. If you are disgusted to drink from his cup, just pretend to drink. Dawn and #39. Be shy. The effects of the powder were very quick. He didn't and #39 have enough time to think about whether she would drink it or not. After Aladdin finished speaking, the princess said, "I confess to you that by doing that to the wizard, I used violence. But when faced with a cruel enemy, is there any solution we cannot do? I will do as you advise for my peace as well as yours." After instructing the princess, Aladdin said goodbye to her and went to the area near the castle to wait until evening to approach the secret door. Princess Badolboudour was extremely sad, not only because she had to leave Aladdin, the husband she truly loved, but also because her beloved father, who loved and cherished her with all his heart, from this painful separation she could not take care of. It can be said that she has forgotten to apply makeup according to her nature. Especially when the old wizard came to see her for the first time and was told by the maid that he was the one who offered to exchange the lamp, she was terrified of that dangerous deception. This valuable opportunity for revenge that she had never dared to hope for made her even more determined to listen to Aladdin and Number 39's words. So when he left, she bathed and told the maid to dress her, choose the most luxurious and suitable outfit. Along with her belt was a necklace of 13 pearls, 6 on each side. The middle one, the biggest and most precious, that queens and princesses are happy to have a full set that is only the size of the princess and Number 39's 2 smallest stones. Bracelets mixed with diamonds and rubies match wonderfully with rich belts and bracelets. After being fully dressed, Princess Badolboudour looked in the mirror and told her maids to look at her preparations, and when she saw that there was no lack of beauty that could captivate the African wizard, she sat on the sofa and waited for him to arrive. The wizard did not forget to come at the usual time. When the princess saw him enter the drawing room with 24 windows, where she was sitting and waiting, she immediately stood up with all her beauty and grace, raised her hand to indicate the place of honor and waited for him to sit once with her, a gesture of greeting. Especially she never treated him. The wizard was more overwhelmed by the princess and Number 39's beautiful eyes than by the sparkling colors of her makeup, and was extremely surprised. The majestic manner and charm with which she welcomed her were in contrast to her previous receptions, which confused him. At first he wanted to sit on the edge of the sofa, but seeing that the princess did not want to sit in her seat if he did not sit in the seat she offered, he obeyed. When the African wizard had sat down, so that he would not be as embarrassed as she saw him, she spoke with a look that made him think that she was no longer as disgusted as she had shown him before. She said, "You are surprised to see that I am different from what you have seen me up to now, but it will not be surprising anymore when I tell you that my temperament is the opposite of the sadness, the depression, the worries that I have. I and Number 39's we've been trying to get rid of it since I felt like the problem was over." I thought about what he said about Aladdin and Number 39's fate. I knew his father and Number 39's nature, and he certainly could not escape his anger. Therefore, even if I mourn all my life, I cannot bring him back to life. So after completing my mission with him, even until he went to his grave, I felt I had to find every way to relieve myself. Those are the reasons he saw me change. To start getting rid of all the troubles, definitely getting rid of them completely, and making sure that you want to be my friend, I told you to prepare a late-night meal for us to eat and drink together. But I only have Chinese wine in Africa. I want to try the wine made here, and I think, if there is, you will find the best one. The old African wizard did not think that happiness could come so quickly and easily from Princess Badolboudour and 39's kindness. He confided that he did not have enough words to express how moved his heart was by the princess and Number 39's kindness. He talked about African wine that the princess had just suggested, praising the strengths that Africa can be proud of, The production of good wine is one of the main aspects, especially in this region that has not been used for 7 years and is not available. Overrated, it is a wine that surpasses the finest wines in the world. The old man added, "If the princess allows it, I will go get 2 bottles and be right back." I Don and number 39. T want to bother you with that. Maybe it would be better to send someone else. I need to go on my own. No one but me knows where the shop owner is and can open the secret compartment. In that case, said the princess, just go and come back quickly. The more time passes, the more anxious I become to see you again, and remember we can eat together as soon as you return. The old wizard was full of hope, not to run, but rather to fly to get the 7-year wine and quickly return. The princess would probably be in a hurry, personally putting the powder that Aladdin gave him into a separate cup. They sat opposite each other at the dining table, the wizard with his back to the sideboard. The princess said, "If you want, I will put on a musical performance, but just you and I together, I think we can talk more interestingly." He saw that the princess and number 39's choice was a new favor. After eating for a while, the princess asked for a drink. She wished the wizard good health, and after drinking she said, "You are right in praising your wine. I have never drank such delicious wine." "Beautiful princess," the old man said as he picked up the cup given to us, "our wine has a new sweetness because the princess has praised it. Drink to my health, you will see that I also know how to enjoy wine." The old man drank to wish the princess good health and looked into the wine cup and said, "Princess, I am very happy to have this wine on such a good occasion. I admit that I have never drank such delicious wine in my life. And in happy cases like now." They continued to eat and drink 3 more times. The princess, with her pampering, captivated the wizard, signaled her maid to fill her cup with wine and also pour it into the wizard and number 39's cup. When each person had a glass of wine, the princess said to him, "I Don and number 39. Do know how in your country, when people love each other, they drink wine together? In China, men and women who love each other exchange cups and drink to each other and number 39's health." At the same time, she handed over the glass of wine she was holding and raised her other hand to receive his glass of wine. The old wizard hurriedly changed the cup, happily. Recognizing this as the surest sign that he had conquered the princess and number 39's heart, so he felt extremely happy. Before drinking, he held a glass of wine in his hand and said, "Princess, we Africans are also sophisticated in the art of love in all its aspects. Having learned this way, I must also show sensitivity to love. I have received the favor. The lovely princess, I will never forget, when drinking her cup of wine, found again the life of which her coldness had destroyed all hope." Princess Barolbaudor was fed up with the wizard and number 39's endless words and immediately interrupted him. "Let a number 39's drink, then you continue talking to me." She brought the glass of wine to her mouth, just touching her lips while the wizard hastily showed her that he sincerely drank it in one gulp without leaving a drop. He leaned his head back and drank the glass of wine, trying to finish it quickly. He stood like that for a while, then the princess saw his eyes roll back and he fell on his back, unconscious. The princess did not need to be told to open the secret door for Aladdin. The maids were arranged in separate groups from the living room to the stairs, so as soon as the old wizard fell down, the door opened. Aladdin walked in and went up to the living room. Seeing the old wizard lying on his back on the sofa, he stopped the princess who had just stood up, and happily came to hug and kiss him. "Princess," he said, "it and number 39. Not now. I have to ask the princess to go back to her room. Tell everyone to leave me alone to work and get you back to China as quickly as you arrived." When the princess went out with her maids and eunuchs, Aladdin closed the door, approached the wizard and number 39's body, opened his cloak and took out the lamp wrapped in it as the princess told him to do. He rubbed the lamp hard, and the genie appeared and spoke as usual. Aladdin said, "Genie of the lamp, I call you to order in the name of the lamp, your owner, to immediately bring this castle back to China and put it in the right place, in the right area where it was taken away." The god nodded and obeyed and then disappeared. The moving of the castle was only in a very short time. People only felt two very slight tremors, one lifted up in Africa and one placed down in China opposite the royal palace as before. Aladdin went down to the princess and number 39's room, then hugged and kissed her. "Princess," he said, "I can guarantee that your joy and mine will be complete tomorrow morning." The princess had not yet finished her late-night snack and Aladdin also needed to eat, so she sent the prepared but untouched food to the living room with 24 windows. The two of them sat down to eat together, drank the witch and number 39's wine, chatted contentedly and then went back to the bedroom. Since the castle and Princess Badroulbadour were taken away, the king and number 39's father was inconsolably sad, thinking that his child had died. He didn't and #39 sleep most of the day and night, and instead of avoiding mentioning things that could make him sad, he found them even more often. Previously, he only went up to the empty room in the morning to admire the castle, but now he went there many times a day, crying, sinking deeper and suffering with the thought of not seeing what he liked anymore and losing his grandfather. The closest thing in the world. As soon as it was morning, the king went up to the empty room on the same day that Aladdin and number 39's castle was brought back. Entering the room with a heartbroken heart, he sadly looked at the familiar place, thinking it was still empty. Seeing that there was no more space left, at first he thought it was because of the fog, but looking closer he saw that it was indeed Aladdin and number 39's castle. Joy and excitement replaced sadness. He hurried back to his room, ordered a horse to be saddled and immediately went to Aladdin and number 39's castle. Aladdin anticipated what might happen, rose at dawn and, after dressing in his best clothes, went up to the drawing room with 24 windows and saw the king coming. He went downstairs, just in time to meet the king at the bottom of the steps and help him get off his horse. The king said, "Aladdin, I can only talk to you after meeting and kissing my daughter." Aladdin took the king to Princess Badroulbadour and #39's room. When she woke up, she was told by Aladdin that she was no longer in Africa but in China, in the capital, in front of the royal palace. As soon as she finished dressing, her father came in, tears streaming down his face, and hugged and kissed her many times. The princess was extremely happy to see her father again. The king could not open his mouth to speak right away because he cried and thought his daughter was completely lost, while the princess cried because she was happy to return to her father and number 39's side. Finally the king said, "Daughter, I think the joy of seeing me again makes you seem less changed, as if nothing bad happened. However, I know you have suffered a lot. Being carried away in an entire castle in such a hurry must be very scary. I want you to tell me how it happened and not hide anything from me." The princess happily replied, "Your Majesty, if I have changed little, please know that I have only begun to breathe since yesterday morning in the presence of Aladdin, my dear husband who has set me free, which I thought I had lost along with happiness. When I hugged and kissed him I regained my former color. In fact, all my hardships are being separated from your Majesty and my beloved husband, not only regarding the relationship between husband and wife but also the worry of him being unjustly treated by your Majesty and number 39's anger. I suffer less because of the robber with his harsh words, but I know how to stop him. About your kidnapping, Aladdin didn't and #39 know anything. It was because you were so carefree." To make her father believe, she recounted in detail the story of the wizard who disguised himself as a lamp seller and offered to exchange new lamps for old lamps, and for fun, she sent him down to exchange Aladdin and number 39's lamp without her knowing that it was a related sacred object. To move the castle to Africa. After changing the lamp, recognizing the treacherous wizard when he came to see her and flirted with her to marry her, she was in real mental pain until Aladdin arrived. Then they plotted to get the magic lamp back by forcing her to pretend to be friendly, invite him to dinner, and poison him. The rest, she told Aladdin to continue. Aladdin finished the last part for the king. "Your Majesty, when the secret door was opened, I went to the living room and saw the traitor lying dead on the chair from drinking poison. It and number 39's not convenient for the princess to stay, so I told the princess to go back to her room with the maid. Still alone, I took out the lamp from the old wizard and number 39's body and secretly gave orders like he did to move the castle. I returned the castle to its original place and brought the princess back to His Majesty as he ordered. I do not dare to hide anything from your Majesty. Please go to the living room and you will see that the witch has been properly punished." To believe it was all true, the king stood up and went upstairs and saw that the African wizard had died, his face pale from poison. He affectionately hugged and kissed Aladdin and said, "My son-in-law, Don and number 39's, blame me for the way I treated you. Your fatherly love forced me to do so and I deserve your forgiveness for having done too much to you. Your Majesty, I never dare to complain about your treatment. You only do what needs to be done. The sorcerer, the inhumane man, the worst man in the world, is the sole cause of my misfortune. When your Majesty is free, I will tell you another trick he did to me, no less dark than the last one, but thanks to God I was able to escape. I will have some free time later. Now let and number 39's happily chat and let this dirty thing go." Aladdin ordered the body of the African wizard to be thrown into the trash as bait for birds and animals. The king played drums, trumpets and other musical instruments, and held a festival for 10 days to celebrate the return of the princess, Aladdin and the castle. Thus, for the second time, Aladdin escaped almost inevitable death, but it was not over. He still had to go through a third danger. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.